wasn't a smart idea in that condition. But I'm just a fighter, you know. I like the sport. I like fighting. I like competition, you know. And but obviously you need to make decision with the head, not with the heart. But as I said, the leg is finally completely recovered. It was very hard injury, you know, so it really took time. Now it is 1.5 years since I had the operation, and now it's finally okay. And finally, a few months ago, I started with the full kicking. And yeah, you're right. If you notice, I didn't even try to do a kick with my German opponent, Mustafa Turk. I didn't try, or I tried only once to kick my Junior Dos Santos, because I didn't feel very stable, you know, in kicking. I didn't feel my leg good, so I just didn't kick at all. And of course, it frustrated me a lot, but it was my decision to enter the cage. It was my decision to accept the fight. Nobody forced me that, but thank God it's behind me now, and the legs are okay now.
All right, thank you. And Pat, because he did, throw back on that, I want to ask you. Of course, you talked about the evolution. I mean, what has Mirko Krokov forced everyone else to do? You talked about getting better, but specifically in striking, what has that forced you and everybody else to change or get better at, or if you could kind of expound on that for us?
Well, we just have to. We've all had no choice but to get better, timing-wise, accuracy, the level of striking that we're bringing to the game. Like, I mean, he stepped into MMA. I mean, there's always been striking in MMA, always. But when Krokov stepped into MMA, like, that was leaps and bounds. Like, that was light years ahead of the level of striking that was around at the time. And this is like, this is just my opinion. No one has to agree with me. This is just my opinion. That when he stepped into MMA, with the level of punching and kicking that he brought to the sport was just astounding. Like, people hadn't seen anything like that before. They didn't know. And being left-handed, which is like, there's only 3 lefties on earth, maybe. He's 2 of them. You know what I mean? Like, he stepped in with different angles, a different style of striking, a different level of aggression, a different level of speed and power. When it came to just a stand-up war in MMA, like, he forced everybody else. He forced us in his weight class, like, we had to get better. We had no choice but to get better. I mean, the guys in that category who would stand across from him had no choice but to get better at striking in order to be able to do that. Because, I mean, also with training for wrestling and jiu-jitsu, he was one of the guys like Chuck Liddell who's impossible to get on the ground. So if he's impossible to take down, you have no choice but to stand up with him. What are you going to do? Like, you can't stand there and throw your 1-2, your regular 1-2 and hope that that's going to work with guys like them who you can't seem to get to the ground, at all, unless they accidentally slip or fall. So the sport, like the striking level in MMA, has grown because of the level of destruction that he was like just laying left and right. Everybody was getting destroyed by what he was doing. So we all had to get better at it, offensively and defensively.
Awesome. And one quick question for Rich. Rich, you had said before the fight with Dan Henderson that, you guys were, set the winner of that fight to go on and coach the Ultimate Fighter. And you had said back then it really didn't interest you to do another season of the show. Obviously, this season was much shorter. You kind of came in as a late replacement. But can you talk to us real quick about, the decision to do that just because, was it because Dana asked or because of the short term? Because I know you had said before the Ultimate Fighter wasn't a huge thing you wanted to do again.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. After the fight with Henderson, being involved in the Ultimate Fighter, that wasn't the goal for me. Like, as if that was the reward for winning the fight. I had done a season before, but I wasn't going to shy away from doing it either. It wasn't something that I just wasn't eager to do it, I guess you could say. I mean, this was quite different because I'm only out there for a week anyway. But had Dane actually come to me before the season even started and set the whole thing up between Chuck and I to begin with, I'm not sure how I would approach that. I'm sure that if that's what he wanted to do, I would have asked him to coach the entire season anyway. But I mean, it was easy to accept this from just that point of view because of the amount of time that I was spending in Vegas and away from home and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. Thanks again, guys.
We'll go next to Dave Dipert with Ken West News Service.
Hey, guys, another one for Chuck and Rich. Now, political reaction has been mixed competition in Vancouver and the whole country. Going every event in Montreal, Ontario, we know what that's like. Around Vancouver, fastest sellout company history. Do you guys notice the buzz around the city in the days leading up to the fight? Do you notice when the arena, might be a little more packed or a little louder than, some other so-so events? Rich, do you want to take that one first?
Thanks.
Yeah, I can take it. When the events are sold out like that, like a quick sellout, you can tell there are more fans around the hotel and the arena area, basically from the time we arrive. And where you can really tell is how many people actually show up to the weigh-ins. I've always found it kind of interesting that anywhere from 3,000 to 8,000 people show up just to watch us step on a scale in our underwear. It's crazy that and the fans in this sport, they're just fanatical about the sport. And so when you have a quick sellout like that, you'll definitely feel the fan presence if you try to use the hotel and go to the grocery store and stuff like that. You would stop them more often.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you can always tell when there's that big, especially in Canada. They're huge fans of MMA, so it's fun going up there and it'll be the hotel will be packed. Hard to get anywhere without running into a bunch of fans. So
Is that a good thing, or I don't know if it's bad?
I like it. I like the fans. I've always loved the fans, and I don't mind it at all. And it's fun to go out there and you go out there and walk out in those arenas, filled arenas with that excited of fans there. It gets really loud. It's fun to walk out.
All right, thanks again, guys.
Take one more question today. Thanks, guys.
And we'll take our final question from Neil Davidson with the Canadian Press.
Yes, thank you. Mirko, everybody knows about your political background and your police background. Are you doing anything else but fighting these days? And also, do you plan on returning to either of those professions after your fighting is over?
Well, all I'm doing right now is training. No more politics, no more police. I don't think I will return in politics or police as well. I don't think so. Never say never, but I don't think so. I'm happy with my life, the life I have, and I will keep fighting as long as I can, as long as I'm going to feel fit, as long as people would like to see me fighting, and that's it. And after that, so many good things, to find out, to discover, because I'm living like a soldier for the last 20 years, 2 trainings a day, and now this, now that, take care for this, take care for that, traveling all around the world, and I'm a happy man anyway.
Thank you. And Rich, one final question for you. How much notice did you get of this fight? When did they call you and ask you about it? Do you remember?
I'm going to say maybe mid to late March, I guess.
Okay. All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right, let's close this out. I'd like to give a big thanks to Chuck, Rich, Mirko, and Pat for taking time to do this conference call with us today, and obviously to all the media that called in and participated. Thanks so much, guys, and we will see you all in Vancouver on June 12th.
Hey, wait, can I say one thing to Mirko before we go?
Sure.
Hey, Mirko, you there?
He might have dropped off already.
No. I just wanted to let him know that I wasn't joking about getting an autograph. I really mean it.
All right. You have the opportunity next weekend.
No problem. Thank you all very much.
All right, thank you.
Bye.